I'm going to tie a fly for you that's a pattern of my own. This one's called the Archies shrimp, and I developed this one a few years ago. It's a variation of a tummel shrimp, and I was just trying to adapt it to suit my own rivers better where I fish, which tend to be very peaty waters. So what we're tying here on is a size 9 black sailor from Partridge. Now this fly, I'm using Glow Bright number 12 silk here on my bobbin holder to start off with, because I want to create a fly that has a green butt. So the tail of it is going to be bucktail that is a mix of both yellow and orange. And what I do is I take a full yellow and a full orange bucktail, cut them all and mix them, and then I keep them in a little tub, because a lot of patterns, cascades, that sort of thing, utilize those colours. So what I do is I take a bunch out of it whenever I need to tie a fly. It's already mixed. Roll it a little bit between fingers and thumbs, and that mixes it together. And I have the tips. Don't put them in a hair stacker because that's unnatural, but you just pull the fibres out past each other and relay them until you get a little bit of a taper into your bunch. So this is a longish tailed fly, so you want a tail that's, well, 1.5 to 2 times the length of the body anyway. So we tie it on there and then go backwards to the point where we want the butt. You can, if you want, put on a gold oval butt behind that again. So the flash in the tail of this one is going to be an orange Mirage crinkle flash. So we take out a strand of that, lay it on the length of the tail, and put a turn across it, pull the other end of it back and tie across itself, and build up a little ball of the green Glow Bright as the butt. Then we cut off the other loose end of that, pull up the waist ends of the bucktail, and I cut at an angle downwards so that when I wrap that down it'll create a bit of a taper rather than just a block end. At this point I take my green Glow Bright and I tie it off. Now I take a dubbing needle and I take a good quality super glue, and I just use the super glue to varnish the butt that I've created. Another small dab, lift up my tail, and a little slash of it across the back, and that will stop it from settling down between the points of the hook. Now that'll then get another coat of clear varnish, and it has to sit aside and dry for a while. So what I do is I tie a lot of them to this point, and then I'll set them off to dry. So I'll take in one that was created a bit earlier. Now we'll swap over to the black tie and silk for the rest of the fly. And wind that on down as far as our green butt. Now the body of the fly, I'm going to use a holographic gold flat braid. I'm going to wrap that on my side, take my turns back to the green butt and then forward. I'm going to leave a bit of room at the front on this one because there's a bit of tying up there. Now we wrap the gold braid forward, when I get to the front of the body, put a turn across it, pull it back on itself, a couple of turns just to tie it in. Now, underneath the wing of this one has some copper light braid. So I'll take a little bunch of copper light braid, and then what I do, pull it through your fingers to try and line up some of the strands. And then set that on, a couple of turns across, double it back on itself, and then I'm going to run the scissors through the center just in case there's any strands that have got trapped, and then put my scissors very flat to the shank and trim that backwards so that it puts a bit of a taper into the points of it. Now the wing on this one, I'm going to use a very hot orange fox. I'm going to cut out a bunch of that. And then I hold it by the tips and by the tips of the underfur as well, and then slide out the unwanted bits of underfur. And I set that up on top so that it comes back, the tips of it are coming back to roughly where my copper tinsel stopped, and I put a wrap over that, keep it in place, and then with my thumbnail spread that out a little bit across the shank. Lift that up and snip it off. For security, I just put a tiny little dab of super glue just there on the cut ends of it and wrap that over. And I return to the rear of my tying point there. Now at this point you can take a brush and brush the wing out slightly. Now for the first of the hackles on this one, I'm going to use a hot orange soft hackle. This is a hen cape, or hen saddle cape. We take a feather from that and we strip off a sort of marabou sort of portion of it. Grab the tip between thumb and forefinger of this hand, grab the stalk between the next two fingers, and then I fold back my hackle with the finger and thumb of my right hand to double the hackle before tying in. So now all of my fibres are on one side. Snap off the tip, pull forward 3 or 4 fibres so that you get a little bit of stalk involved. Put a turn across that, fold it back on itself, and then a couple more turns across that to tie it in. So I'm going to wind that on. Tie it off, pull the stalk back on itself, finish that. Now I want to add the jungle cock. So I'll take out a feather from each side of the cape and then apply it to the side of the fly. Measuring it up for length to make the two equal. So when I put this up on top, I can see that they're not 100% equal, so I can pull that one down until I think they're the same. Snip off and take a little bit of super glue onto my thread. And wrap that back. Over those. Now, for the next hackle on this is a guinea fowl hackle, and it's been dyed in blue. So here I'm going to strip off again the fluff on this one, and again I'm going to double this. It's not so easy given that it's such a short hackle. And then again snap out the tip and apply that to the side of the fly, fold it back, a couple of wraps on. Okay. Now, guinea fowl hackles are quite prone to snapping, so hopefully that doesn't happen this time. Put on your hackle pliers and wrap on the guinea fowl hackle. I'd be surprised if you get more than 2 turns out of a guinea fowl hackle because it's quite short. Okay. Once I've got that on, I'm just going to brush that hackle out. Put some more super glue onto my thread. Then I'm going to wrap that backwards to create the base for her head. Now for the head, I want to take another bit of mirage tinsel. I'm going to tie that in on my side and snip off the waist end. Now I want to wax up my thread, nice sticky wax, and create a base up here, just to get a couple of turns if possible. With that mirage on to make a pearly head. Now I'm going to finish that off. And now you can use UV cure if you want, or you can use a good quality super glue and then varnish it. This one I'm going to use super glue. I'll use the rotation of the vise, coat that all in the glue. And then whenever that dries, it'll get a coat of clear varnish to finish it. That is an Archies shrimp.